Hello there. I'm in the doghouse again, or I should say, I'm babysitting Vale, and Stinky's helping me. They're like best buds. He's such a strange cat. Not only does he eat mashed potato, but he sees a huge, white, wolf-looking dog and thinks it should be his best friend. This is basically all day. Anyway, okay, so emails. Dear Tabitha, this is from somebody, I don't know their name, but I know they're from Germany. Thank you so much for making videos. I hope you understand my message because I'm from Germany, so my English skills aren't good at all. Well, they're better than my German skills. I'm in recovery from bulimia and anorexia for about 1 year. In between, I struggle with a lot of compulsive exercising and orthorexia. Due to this, I'm eating a big amount of vegetables and fruits and less fats. All in all, I'm eating over X amount of calories a day, and I'm still walking 3 hours a day. I'm just 1 or 2 kilograms away from a healthy weight, but I don't have my period yet. For a few weeks, my weight suddenly gained constantly, and I didn't know why, because last time I tend to eat the same amount of calories less, or less calories than before. Nevertheless, I often struggle with extreme hunger and eating a huge amount of vegetables and fruit, especially in the evening, because I'm afraid of feeling hungry at night. When I'm eating these big amounts of food, it's only time of day that I'm really satisfied. And I'm really craving these types of foods, not only because I want to feel full with low caloric food. So you're actually saying I'm really craving these types of food, it's not only because they're low calorie. My question and biggest sorrow is that due to the amounts of food that I will stretch out my stomach and never feel satisfied if I'm eating less in the future. It feels like I can't trust my body anymore, and I'm afraid that letting go of control will eat far too much just because I'm used to eating for a lot of food for a long time. If I try and eat less than during the day, it feels like restricting, and I'm still mentally hungry after eating. Because of this, I'm still weighing and tracking all my food. But I'm also feeling guilty after eating so much because my brain is telling me that maybe I would be satisfied with less food, and people around me try and make comments about the amount of vegetables. This makes me feel even more guilty. Plus, my consistent weight gain and the great hunger all the time make me feel like I'm eating much more than I would actually need. So I'm feeling pretty stressed preparing the food, and don't want somebody that is don't want people looking at me while preparing or eating. That's also a reason that my biggest meal is still in the evening when I'm alone. I know I shouldn't give a fuck about these things, but eating is hard, and it's hard for me to listen to my hunger cues. It feels not right that I'm eating so much and feeling this kind of full. On the other hand, I really want something like permission to eat these things. This conflict is making me crazy right now. Sorry for a long message. Hope you can help me a little bit. Well, I can only try. So it sounds like what you're saying is that you're craving huge amounts of vegetables and fruits, and so you're eating huge amounts of those food, that food. And it may... I know that, it's kind of like I say to people, eat what you really want, eat what you're craving. But if you're in recovery from a restrictive eating disorder, if what you are really craving is fruits and vegetables, you have to understand that that food is going to do very little for your recovery. Your body needs fat, and that's why your body wants huge amounts of these fruits and vegetables, because the fat's not being delivered. Now, having said that, when I was in recovery, I ate huge amounts of fatty food. So eating a huge amount of food is really normal in recovery. But I just really worry that you're not eating the type of foods that are really going to help your body recover. And that is usually highly processed, high calorie, high fat foods. That's generally what we need. And so I think that what happens, and I think I spoke about this a little bit in the video on baby food yesterday, what happens is when we only allow our bodies to eat certain foods, or we only allow ourselves to eat certain foods, our bodies just become reliant on that food because that's the only option. And so all your body knows that it's really hungry, and that basically fruit and vegetables have been the food that you've been allowing yourself to eat. And so that's why it's craving those things. I'm sure that actually if you allowed yourself to eat different foods, cheese, chocolate, burgers, fries, chips, crisps, all of those delicious things, I'm sure that you would actually begin to crave those foods. It's just that you're only really, I feel, allowing yourself to eat fruits and vegetables, and therefore your body just thinks that's the only option, so that's better than nothing, right? And the reality is that if you were recovered, then you could be like, well, I'll just try eating a burger and see what that's like, and it wouldn't be a big deal. But it probably is a big deal for you mentally to eat something that's different from those fruit and vegetables. And that, my friend, is the indicator that something is wrong. Because you'll feel all this resistance, and some of that resistance will be like, oh, well, I just don't really want that type of food. That's what the resistance is. It's not that I'm scared of it, it's that I don't really want it. Like, if it wasn't a problem, you could just try it, you could just eat it. And so that was the sort of test that I used with myself a lot as well. Understanding that resistance comes in different forms, and because your brain knows that it's illogical to be scared of food, it tries to justify that fear. And a lot of times the way it will justify that fear will be by saying, well, it's just that I just don't want that food. Or for me, a lot of the times the way my brain would justify the resistance would be like, it's not about the food, I just don't like other people telling me what to eat. They're trying to control me, and that's why I won't eat it. And really, if it wasn't about the food, I'd just be like, oh, whatever, I'll just eat, easy life, just eat the food that someone's giving me or trying to make me eat. Anyway, so in short, fruit and vegetables person, I feel that you need to be eating highly caloric food, and fruit and vegetables are not highly caloric food. Your other question was, is your stomach going to get stressed? Like, you know what? Our bodies are really smart, and most of us eat huge volume of food in recovery. Hopefully it's highly caloric, huge volume of food that you're eating, not fruit and vegetables. But either way, most of us eat a huge volume of food, and my stomach seemed to manage just fine and sort itself out and, work out how to be satiated on a more normal amount of food once I was recovered. So just trust your body. It knows what it's doing. And you said in your email you don't trust your body, but the reality is you don't really have a choice. You've got this body and it knows what it's doing and you don't. So you kind of have to give over and trust it. Otherwise you're going to fuck it up. That's what most of us learn when we have an eating disorder. That trying to control our bodies and not trusting it just leads to fuck up. Because that's not the way it was supposed to be. Your body's supposed to be doing all this stuff and working all this stuff out for you, and it does not need you to interfere. And when you do interfere, it gets messed up. That is true. Always, when we try and interfere with something that the body is supposed to be doing naturally without our micromanagement. Trust your body and force yourself to eat different foods. Force yourself to be brave enough to eat highly caloric foods. And if you feel resistance to doing that, if you feel fear of doing that, then all the more reason that you have to do that. And remember, it's okay to eat huge amounts of highly caloric foods in recovery. It's really okay to do that. Hope that helps. Bye.